Oh, welcome back to Diocesan College, where South African schools A side lead their English counterparts by 22 points to 7. And it was just the start that the A side would have wanted. Wonderful timing of the pass, and it was Janko van Heinigen who got in for the opening score for the SA Schools A side.
Lovely first phase movement. Everything worked smoothly there, perhaps for the only time in the first half.
And again, England deciding to keep ball in hand. A floated pass found its way into the hands of the Garsfontein flyer. And it was Austin Davids who got in for the second of the afternoon. Read it to perfection to the right winger and plucked it from the air. And simple as you like, he got in for his second. And it was from the drive that Skalk Erasmus crashed in. And it was all the men in green who had swarmed over those dressed in white. And South Africa were well in charge of this contest.
That was a really soft try from England, not the sort of thing that you expect to see them give up. Importantly, England scored with the last move of the first half. So have a look at the stats there, and tackles missed is significant on both sides, and surprising to see the possession almost evening out there, because at one stage it was very one-sided. And that gives you an idea that this game has been played right the way across the field. Not often you see the percentages as close as that.
Right, so it's South African schools who lead the English, and on the field with Tox van der Linde is the effervescent Christian Stewart.
Well, it's wonderful to be here at Bishops, watching the SA side playing England and bumping to elbow of Bishops, Christian Stewart. Wonderful to be here at Bishops.
Toxie, yeah, what an occasion. A very, very special day for the school. And we couldn't ask for better weather, and the rugby's been superb, and I'm really looking forward to watching the South African school side. There are a lot of very exciting players coming through. I just walked past a few of them, and I can't believe how big these schoolboys are these days.
And Chris, Bishops, what a wonderful school. Some of the world's guys says they've never seen such a beautiful school. A lot of tradition here, a lot of ex-Springboks here, a lot of guys who's been playing for this school, has played extremely great rugby in different provinces.
We're very, we've got a great setup here in the southern suburbs. We've got Rondebosch, we've got Sachs, we've got Bishops, we've got Wynberg, 3 or 4 rather very strong southern suburb schools, and they all keep each other honest and bring the best out in each other. But recent old boys, obviously Robbie Fleck, the Stormers coach and our good mate, is an old boy here. Selborn Boom, Dave van Husselen, of course Francois Lowe at the moment, and there's 1 or 2 other recent guys. So yeah, we've had our recent share of Springboks, and we're obviously very proud of them.
That's wonderful. And obviously in the next 2 weeks' time, it's Rondebosch against Bishops on the 27th of August. Who will take that game?
Well, my close mate Anton Chart will be quite upset for me to mention this, but we did beat Sachs here on Saturday. They've had the run against us lately, but we had a great victory here, Bishops, on Saturday. We play Rondebosch in 2 weeks' time. We play Wynberg on Saturday, so we've got some exciting games coming up.
Another big question. Opposite Africa playing Argentina Saturday in Nelspruit in the Test match. You've played for Canada and for Springboks. You think we've got a good chance in this championship?
Thanks for letting me know, Toxie. The athletics has been so great. Wade van Niekerk, we salute you. I'd actually forgotten about the rugby. The Olympics has been so enthralling, but of course, yeah, we're looking forward to that. And I think it's the start of a new era, hopefully, for South African rugby. And I hope we play some very expansive, attractive rugby with this exciting new team we got, but really looking forward to it.
Great talking to you. Thanks for talking to us on SuperSport.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Tox.
So great to see Christian Stewart chatting there, a former centre. And now it'll be England with all the hard work to do. Andy, what was said in those half-time circles to galvanise the English?
Well, the most important thing was that they scored with the last move of the half, so at least they're on the board. And I would expect that they should make early changes in this second half, particularly in the tight 5.
It'll be Tom Parton to get us underway. And it's travelled the allotted 10 metres, been slapped back on the English side. Good work by Parton. He's done the clean-up operation as the fly off. Coming the short side is Bayliss.
Release.
Good clean out coming in from England. Simmons. Good hands by Parton to the live wire hooker in the form of Blamar. Still Blamar. Good run by the hooker. Simmons looking for quick ball to Ibi Toya, who's left it behind. Umanga now.
Green's got it.
Turnover ball for South Africa. Ati Magwala again has won it for the home side. Boyson feeds Van der Schyff. Sticks it on the boot now. Does it hold up enough? They've got chasers aplenty. Towed ahead. Will the bounce be favourable? Yes, it is. And it's the right winger in Mujawa who has drawn first blood in this second half. Brilliant sprinting by the man in the number 11 jersey.
Well, exactly what England didn't want at the start of this second half. Tarandeshe Mujawa of St Benedict's has put the knife in there. And the ball just bouncing badly at the final revolution there, which meant that Ibitoye couldn't get the ball into touch, and instead in goes Mujawa, try number 4 for South Africa.
Well, now I'm sure that the coaching staff of the English will intervene, and a host of replacements are lined up on this grandstand touchline. However, it'll be that man in shot, Tyron Green, who will be looking to swing it in from right to left to add the extras.
Okay.
Green has given it a solid whack, but it's just under the crossbar. But that man in shot, Mujawa, has got in for the opening score in the second half.
Right. The substitution.
The bounce was kind, and the flying right winger has got in for the SA Schools A-side's 4th try. So it's Tom Curry who replaces Sam Moore.
Oh, good luck. The Curry twins, who are identical, are now both on the field for England and playing in the back row.
Good work from the restart from South Africa. Boyson decides to go with a box kick. It's got height on it and distance. Good work by Ibitoya, but it's fallen the way of South Africa. Maya Olifant has managed to slip onto the field and win the possession for those dressed in green. Boyson now looking for quick ball. Back to Magwala. Route 1. The burly flanker decides to go, but well met by the English defence. Boyson remonstrating with the referee. Comes to Davids. And it's gone to Pieterse, who manages to get rid of the attentions of his opposite man. And Williams and Pieterse now just involved in some unnecessary handbags.
No, stop.
Temper's starting to fray here.
Oh, one of the England players has really lost it. There he is with the headband. He absolutely incensed Josh Williams. I don't know whether the referee is going to ask the TMO to have a look at that.
Time's off.
Yes.
Captain.
Well,
Captain.
at the very least, he's going to have a lecture.
Captain.
Well, Josh Williams could be in trouble here. I think there's a headbutt that they're going to go upstairs for and have a look at. And if that's the case, he will find himself getting a red card. This is what Quinton Immelman has to say.
So you both got responsibility as captains. Get the message clear over to the guys. Stop this off the ball incident. Yeah.
Well, perhaps Quentin Immelman has thought to himself, let's give them a chance here. Let's send the captains off to talk to the troops. Yep. It's been a relatively even-tempered game up until then. Obviously something happened that Josh Williams was not at all happy about.
I'll be that as it may. Tyron Green has now found touch just on the 22-meter area. Good handoff coming from Pieterse. Williams around his neck. And then it all just boiled over. Now Erasmus looking for Mark. And South Africa get the rumble on. Here they go towards that English line. They're marching with this English pack as the green juggernaut keeps going. And it's transgression from Ben Curry. Boyson to Green. The goose step. Flips it over. And
7 white.
The movement has broken down. However, it is still a penalty coming the way of South Africa.
I think Ben Curry was guilty of swimming around the maul there in order to get the tackle in.
Your discipline must change immediately for us.
Have a look here. He's wrapped up the ball carrier there, and I think he's come from the wrong part of the field.
Now it's broken down. Magwala has been pulled across the outline, and it'll be a throw into England.
Ball is out, white ball.
It's been taken quickly by the English. However, the line-out was formed.
Cool, line-out formed already.
And it
line-out formed already.
seems to
Both teams. You can only form a line-out if both teams are
starting to boil over here. The English definitely frustrated that they can't get going.
It's clearly something that they spoke about before the game, that they wanted to play a fast and open game.
Lamar misses his jumper, and it's not straight, says referee Immelman, and it'll be
option.
a put into the scrum for South African Schools A side.
But it certainly has been a very out-of-character performance by this England team. Just maybe they're trying something in game 2, bearing in mind that they're playing the full South African school side in their final game.
It's so unlike England that their set phases have gone awry. At scrum time they've been well met, and their lineouts just haven't functioned all afternoon.
Just a slip this side.
It just seems that South African A schools have got under the skin of England, and now they've conceded a penalty for chirping and pushing.
Referee did speak to Lauritz van der Schyff just a couple of minutes ago, saying you need to get your side's discipline up now.
Kabosiloff, the guilty party. Brilliantly taken in the air by Pieterse. He's won it back for his side. Boyson to Eloff, who manages to truck it forward over that 22-meter line of England. Still going, Skalk Erasmus. More called by the referee as South Africa get it going. But some strong work by Ben Curry. And he's managed to suffocate that foray into the English 22, and he's won his side a turnover. Good work by the number 7 flanker.
More white ball.
That was amazing, wasn't it? Because that could have gone horribly wrong. Kabos Eloff's shoulder was strong enough to keep the man from falling on his head. You mentioned Ben Curry. He is the nephew of John Olver, who came here in 1993 with Harlequins and played in the Mnet Night series. And John Oliver also played 3 test matches for England. Would have played a lot more, but had a couple of good players in front of him.
Simmons feeds part and decides to run it out of danger. And that's a poor pass from Mike. In fact, it's his son, Jacob Umanga. I'm trying to call him his dad's name. Very much alike in terms of his style of play. Abrasive, hard running. There he is in shot.
You want to scrum 3, not around him.
And I mentioned the nephews of John Oliver. Of course, Tana Umanga is the uncle of young Jacob Umanga.
Just wondering, with the injury to Sonny Bill, if he might call on his nephew to come do the job at the Blues in Auckland.
Bind. Set.
Now, if they can get a right shoulder, they could be able to free up Dion Skunis to have a run at Tom Parton.
Yeah, you mentioned Sonny Bill. He's one of those guys good things happen to, and almost for the first time in his career he decides to opt for 7s and does an Achilles. He's out for what, 10 months?
Absolutely crazy, but what he's done for the game of rugby you cannot replace.
Crouch. Bind. Set. 2, 3, 4.
Skunis feeds Boyson, looking for the cut-out pass, but the pass has gone forward, and it'll be a scrum to England.
6 screen. Replacement.
Nati Magwala is being substituted. He's had a workmanlike game as the man who comes from Boelan Lampo, and he's been replaced by Mark Snyman.
Yeah, Snyman of Helpmakar, a member of a very combative back row for the Lions at Craven Week. Very impressed by this man today, Nati Magwala of Boelan Lampo. He's covered most of the field. He's won the ball back at the breakdowns, and he's been in the face of the opposition.
And put you, I'm not asking you again. Crouch. Bind. Set. 2, 3, 4.
Pressure coming on at scrum time from
Straight up.
the SA Schools A side.
That's the other Curry twin, Tom.
Listen here. It's a fold and hold. Once the ball is in, you guys can scrum. Both backs. Not guessing here. You cannot scrum onto the flank. You've got to stay on your block.
So, have we got uncontested scrums here?
No, we don't. But you just feel that it's a powder keg waiting to explode. Both these packs of forwards have been at each other's throats for close on 50 minutes. As it is Harry Simmons who feeds the scrum. And South Africa have won a penalty as England have pulled out of the contest.
There's a bit of feeling out there now. If they really wanted to rub it in, they'd call a scrum now.
Standing up under pressure.
Go for the line out, and it'll be a host of English replacements now that come onto the field.
Time's off.
Levi Davis on for Ben Loader.
So you thought I was standing looking at the scrum, that's all the penalty?
Yes, under pressure.
Henry Walker is going to take over at hooker. And he takes over from Jamie Blaymire, who's actually had a pretty good game for England, but perhaps they want to keep his powder dry for the last game.
Good work by the A side as they start to get the ball going towards that English goal line. Pumping the legs of the A side, and they've got it over. And it's Kauke Rasmus who has once again got in for the try from the line out. Brilliant work from the SA Schools A side as their set piece has functioned and the English defence fractured in front of them.
Have a look at the body position from Erasmus. He gets so low with the drive, it's almost impossible to defend against that. New man, having just come on for England, Levi Davies, just had no chance of keeping out Skalka Erasmus. That's his second try.
And South Africa's 5th of the afternoon. He's had a good running game as this young man in shot, Tyron Green. His kicking for goal has not been on target, but he'll be wanting to knock this between the uprights.
Tight there.
And he's managed to steer it between the uprights as Green and South Africa now out to a very healthy 34-7 lead.
Well, they're good value for that, and I can't see any way back for England now. They've obviously tried hard. They've cleared the bench to an extent.
Deep restart coming in from Parton, taken in by the replacement Aya Olifant. Boyson decides to go over the top with the box kick. Good work by Van Heineken. Now South Africa stream through. Here comes Pieterse. Will he have the pace to get in? Reino Pieterse. Can he get there? Yes, he can. Just reward for the number 4 lock, who's had a simply outstanding afternoon.
Yeah, very impressive young man,
21,
Reino Pieterse. And he is built as well. He's 106 kilos, a metre 96, and he can sprint.
Big control under the players.
He's one of the Gasfontein trio in the side, all of whom have had excellent games. Abner van Rieenen and Austin Davids in the back line, and Pieterse doing the hard work at close quarters, and given the opportunity, sprinted in there very impressively. It's funny, you can go a long time without a bunch of good players in one position, but right now South Africa have got half a dozen test class lock forwards and more like Pieterse coming through and pushing them from schoolboys.
Now his last kick was successful, Green, and he'll be looking to replicate it. Well, the man who hails from Jeppe. If you've just joined us, well, that is the score, 39 points to 7, as the SA Schools A side are putting this England side to the sword.
Having lost to Italy in their opening game.
Well, he swung it away as Green, but that won't matter much, as this A side is 32 points to the good, as we see determined running from Reino Pieterse. Brilliant work by the lock forward. Now Grayson has made his way onto the field as Kabosilov takes it into contact.
No.
Boyson looking to box kick again. And he's done so with aplomb this afternoon as the diminutive scrum off, but well handled by the replacement Hill. Spun out Grayson, battling to gather it, but picked up by the replacement in Alex Seville. Back down the blind side. Curry takes it into contact. Back to Simmons. Curry again, his brother. Simmons to Grayson. Got men on the outside, but has passed it to no one. As South African A stream through, somewhat messy on that far side. And the pass goes awry. Good strong running now from the other Curry in Tom, but he's lost it forward. Turnover ball. Boyson decides to kick it over the top now. Here comes Van der Schyff and company as they decide to heap the pressure on England. And it's been bundled into touch.
Put the ball down. Who's ball? Yeah.
It'll be a throw-in to South African Schools A side.
Kind of thinking that England have played a game that they're not familiar with. Maybe they had a long tactical discussion about it and said, let's give it a go. Hasn't worked.
Erasmus to Pieterse. Maul has been brought to ground. Boyson to Green. Sean go now. Out the back to Oliphant. Now a simple canter in for Oliphant, but one feels that Quinton Emmerman will go upstairs for potential obstruction.
Let's have a look for me. There was any interference there, obstruction running there from Green.
Yeah, it did look
so you're looking for probable
very
obstruction?
guilty.
Yeah, probable obstruction, that's up, please.
Okay, please stand by.
It's always a case of is the blocking runner taking out potential tacklers? And there, I would suggest that the number 13 in the way, Janko van Heiningen, probably was.
Or did he impede the man in shot?
I think the mere fact that he's been protecting the ball carrier, you can do that in gridiron, you can't do it in rugby union.
I'd agree with you.
We're still waiting, we're confirming it now, just put up to TMO as well.
Quinton, I've got a decision for you.
Yes, Jade.
There's no clear and obvious obstruction, therefore you may award the try.
Okay, thanks. So try stands.
Well, the try stands, and
Not sure I agree with it, but in the greater scheme of things, it won't matter.
it's gone to Oliphant. Try number 7 for SS Schools A side.
So there it is. To me, the number 13 is in the face of the tackler and preventing him getting to the ball carrier. Illegally so, but TMO has ruled otherwise. And as I say, in the greater scheme of things, it's not going to affect the outcome of the game.
Now it's Austin David who has been handed the kicking duties. He's got it up there and he's got it over as the right winger Davids, and SA Schools A side go out to a 46-7 lead.
Well, he ran it in nicely, didn't he? And let's just tag him. Grey High School in Port Elizabeth is his alma mater.
Good work from Mark from the restart.
Get out now, White!
Back on the side of South African Schools A. Boyson. Good decisive break from Snyman.
White's got it! Leave it green!
But it's turnover ball for England. This Van der Schyff comes streaming through now. Strong run from Hill. Somewhat sloppily on the England side. It's open up for Curry in front of him as he's brought to ground from Boyson. Still going is Lamb Kona. Pop up to Curry. Out the back of the hand. Good work from England. And it's gone awry, but it's gone backwards. Williams regathers it.
That's a maul.
Now a maul as England surge towards that line of South African Schools, and it's come to naught. Use it or lose it is the call from the referee, and it's turnover of possession.
Looked to me as if James Grayson made an error there. He went for the big Sonny Bill chicken wing out of the side.
Just times the injury.
And I think if he'd hung on to the ball, he probably could have scored himself. Been quite impressed by Ben Curry, the number 7 flank. He's covered a lot of ground, made good tackles.
You just find that they've lacked rhythm in the critical areas of the game. As you see, the next fixture is the SA Schools side up against France to conclude this second outing down here at Diocesan College. And just in the catching and passing department, they've come up well short, have the English.
Get the water.
Quite remarkably, the South African schools lost to Italy on Friday, and they've turned up this afternoon and most certainly have packed this English side away.
Yeah, I suppose if you look at the fact there are only 4 players who also ran on in that opening game against Italy, just maybe it was a tactical error by South Africa that they might have played their second string troops against Italy and perhaps underestimated what they were about to face. Either that, or they've just clicked today against an England side that has played a very unfamiliar type of game.
As you see, another scrum that has gone to ground. Just brilliant for the tournament in its essence. Italy getting put away by Wales earlier on, and South African schools A side now turning up to defeat England. So really this tournament has shown its worth for these young men. There's another penalty, goes the way of the SA schools A side, and Alex Seville is the man who's been pointed out for just flopping to ground. And Tyrone Green will look to carve off some territory down this grandstand touchline.
Yeah, he's disappointed with that, but he's had a good game, Tyrone Green. I mentioned earlier that he impressed us at Craven Week. He looks a very well-organised fly half.
Well, sloppy line out from the SA schools A side has meant that the ball has found its way onto the side of the English, and they've won themselves a scrum.
But you've got to wonder how England are going to get themselves together mentally to play against the full England school side in the final game, which will be at Pile Boys High on Saturday.
So support the body weight.
We just know one thing about their junior rugby. They are so adept at turning up for the big occasion, are the English. And it's shown in their under-20 form at the World Championships. Good work at scrum time as the breakaway comes from Lamkona. Quick ball for Simmons. Feeds the replacement hooker in Walker. Still going Walker. Strong leg drive by him. Simmons out to Grayson. The pop inside to his captain, Ibitoya. Simmons again. Grayson just holds the ball up slightly. And brilliant work from the replacement fly half. And it is James Grayson who has got in for the English's second try.
About 10.
Well, his father Paul has a World Cup winners medal with England in 2003. He was the understudy to Johnny Wilkinson, played in the dirt tracker games, as they're sometimes referred, and looks a lot like his old man.
He's given that a solid whack, and over she goes. So a bit more respectability for that scoreline as Grayson converts his own try.
They did well here. Grayson involved twice in the movement. That was his little pass on the inside, and then he pops up to finish it here. Wondered at one stage whether he actually lost that ball forward. There he is, slapping it down over the line, and still a little bit suspicious, but try has been given.
Good work from the restart from Lamkona, who's grown into this game as Grayson takes it to the line and feeds his captain Ibitoya. Good work by Curry on hand yet again. Continuity shown by the English.
Second one's a knock on. So
and
Green, black, it's backwards from Green. Then he knocks it on.
Knock back from Green and then a knock on coming from the captain Ibitoya.
I'm just asking a question, sir.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's why I'm showing a knock on. Backwards. Yeah.
Very well mannered captain.
Substitutions.
Gabriel Libatoye. He's at school at Trinity in Croydon.
Well, replacements coming on for Skalk Erasmus and Kabosilov, who've both had strong games this afternoon. And Dylan Richardson and Gugu Nalani, the two boys from KwaZulu-Natal, get their opportunity, as do Sanele Nohamba and Lububala Dubela.
Sanele Nohamba will slot in at scrum half. He's at Durban High School. And this year, after years and years of sucking hind tit against Glenwood, they actually nearly beat them. And Nohamba was the man of the match.
Time is on. Crouch. Bind.
He's got a nice blind side to work with as the young scrum off.
Early hit.
An early hit, the tap and go. Feeds Davids, decides to put ball to boot. A rolling grabber in the hands of Ibitoya. Now, what can he do? Steps off the left. He's got great pace as this young man flicks it back inside. But too many fancy passes, and the replacement in Nalani has come away with it. Nohamba feeds Richardson, who eventually gets it to ground. Nohamba, Dobela, Van der Schyff on the outside of his opposite man. As England swarm the breakdown. Slow ball for South Africa as Petersen comes away with it. Takes 3 English defenders to bring him down. Nohamba has knocked it on.
No. Get away.
Been very impressed by Petersen today. Scored a try.
Stop.
Won all of his set-piece ball.
It's over. No.
Just looks to have a little bit of mongrel about him.
Well, it's job well done for this SA Schools A side. Smiles all round after some glum-looking faces that were on that bench on Friday. But they've managed to turn it around. And they've certainly been full value for their 46-14 lead over their English counterparts.
Not guessing. So he's up and you're going down as well. So both. Come in.
Dylan Richardson, who's come on in the front row, the man there with the headband on, has actually played more games for Kearsley this year at number 8 than he has in the hooker position. But showed up pretty well as hooker at Craven Week, and so he's gone straight through.
Take the hit.
Let's go, Kieran.
Crouch. Bind. Second one again.
Well, again, it's for an early shove from the English. As the tap and go comes in the hands of Richardson. Nohamba pops it up, and it's a knock-on that's come from the replacement, Mornay Smith.
So, if it happens again, it's a long-arm penalty. So fold and hold, do not go through the movement.
Not very clear from Quinton Himmelman, the referee. It's a fold and hold, and the next time they transgress, it'll be a long-arm penalty.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Simmons now feeds the scrum. The heat coming on, and South Africa have won it tighted. Dobela to Van der Schyff. He's got Davids on the outside. Good working of the pass into the wider channels to Mujawo, who sets up the breakdown in the 5-meter area. Spun across to the replacement for Mark. Here comes Franke Horn. Running up the belly of the field is the live wire number 7. Mohamba to Dobela. Feeds Van Heinigen. He's got men on the outside. He feeds Petersen now. Can he finish it off? Brilliant work by the lock forward. Reino Petersen running like a back. And he's in for his double, is the big man. But catching and passing of the highest order from this A side, and that has brought up the half century for this SA Schools A side.
Well, what a wonderful performance. As poor as they were against Italy, they've been good this afternoon at Bishops. Van Hanegem here might well have decided on another day to have got himself there, but unselfishly spread it wide, and Peters has showed what a lock forward can do charging down the wing that perhaps a winger can't, and that is just to hold off the advancing defenders with one hand and control the ball over the line.
Try number 8 for the SA Schools A side, and he's in for his double is Reino Pedersen, who has in all essence stood head and shoulders above his English counterparts in this contest. Now his last kick from this acute angle was a successful one for Austin Davids. Can he replicate it? Has it got the legs? Yes, it has. That's another telling blow for the South Africans as they are now leading this English side by 53-14.
See the handoff there, because the man charging at him, although he had a number 14 on his back, is a 100-kilo monster.
Oh, Grayson's kick has trickled over the 10-meter line. Well controlled by Vermaak. Mahamba feeds Dobela. Richardson in midfield is well met by Tom Curry, still on the side of South Africa. Mahamba to Dobela, the little grubber through. Now which way does this bounce? Into the hands of Joe Kokensia. He decides to go route 1. Simmons to Grayson, pops it up to Walker, and not releasing the tackle player. Tap and go from Simmons. Needs support, and it's come in the form of the big winger. Still on his feet. Here's Kokona Singer. Half to Ibitoya, the chip kick through. Now can it bounce kindly for Umanga?
Go upstairs.
And they're going to have a look upstairs to see if
Jody,
England have managed to snaffle a try.
Green lost it and white grounded the ball in goal. Just have a look, first try, no try, please.
Okay, checking. Please stand by.
Must say, my initial reaction was that was a try.
Mate,
there's no knock on there.
I'm going to fuck you up after the game.
26. 26. Come here.
Dylan Richardson has managed to get a hand on the ball there.
Apologise to me for swearing.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
So the number 25 coming through for England. Does he get a ball? Does he get a hand on the ball? Doesn't look like it.
Well, it's Matt Williams who's entered the fray. Now does Dylan Richardson beat him to the touchdown? Well, it was the deftest of touches from Ibitoya as Umanga and Williams came streaming through. Now that's knocked backwards off the knee from South Africa, and in the mad scramble does Matt Williams get his hand on the ball, and he's missed it from all accounts there.
Yeah, I don't think he's made contact with that ball at all.
Terwyl se wag sommer wat hy tyd daar, is die game klaar hierna of nie? Ja ja.
Okay, Quinton, I've got a decision for you.
Yes, Jerry.
The England player did not ground the ball.
Okay.
It was grounded by a green player.
Okay.
White took it into the end goal.
Okay, cool bananas. So, no try, and that's the end of the game.
Well, that's all she wrote from referee Quinton Immelman, and it's an emphatic victory for the South African Schools A side, as they have duly put their English counterparts to the sword, and they have scored 8 tries in the process in a pulsating second game by beating their players by 53 points to 14.